What are we watching?
This is just I didn't know what to put on, so it's just inside the cockpit of a rally car,
Oh, that's dope.
just cruising around.
Yeah. I would never want to be a race car driver.
Really? I feel like I would love to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be a race car driver, maybe off-road, those off-road like Subies, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, this is what this is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is exactly it.
This is like terrifying though. Like they come in those corners so fast.
But the Italian Grand Prix, where they're going like 200 miles an hour around like sharp turns in the city.
That's crazy.
No, not for me. And they don't have any like protection. They have like a helmet on.
Yeah, I've seen like footage of them crashing, and like they'll just tumble down like hills, and they'll just be completely fine. Like these things are insane. It's pretty crazy.
These are cool. There's like I grew up like on the PlayStation 2 like video game. Of like this.
That's awesome.
Grand Prix racing.
Yeah, my dad, we had a PlayStation 2. I don't know what happened to it, but the only game on it, there was Frogger, which OG game, and then there was like a NASCAR game, and like me and my sisters tried to play it like twice, and it was just like
shifting is hard in video games.
Yeah, shifting's hard in real life.
Nah, well, you can kind of feel it in the car. When did you learn how to like? When did you learn how to drive a stick?
I learned how to drive a car on stick shift. I was working for my uncle who like owns a bunch of property back home, and he had a Chevy S10, and he was like, I was his farmhand, and whenever there was like a moment, he was like, here, let's learn how to drive. And so that's what I learned on. And then the first time I got in like a real car, I was like, oh, this is what a clutch is supposed to feel like, not a Chevy with like 300,000 miles on it, completely burnt out.
But it's so, you can feel it because the Chevy S10s are so light. When you shift, the tires just spin out, especially if it's on dirt. You're probably driving on dirt, so it was like, you can slide all around.
A few years after I was his farmhand, my sister started working for him, and he tried to teach her. And I don't know if he just had used all his patience on me or if my sister wasn't that good at it. I don't know, but he gave up pretty quickly trying to teach her, so she just learned on a regular car.
Yeah, my first car, it was a Volvo, first like street legal car, because I had like trucks growing up at the campground all the time. But first like car I got when I was like 16, it was like $800 off our neighbor. And one day I was on the way to my buddy Liam's house, and it was like whatever, middle of a huge snowstorm, just got my license. And I'm driving super slow, and I don't really know where it is. So I'm like driving there, and there's somebody behind me in this huge snowstorm. So I'm like in the middle of the road with my blinker on because I'm trying to turn in. And then as I'm trying to turn in across the road, they try to pass me because I'm driving like shit, honestly. Like it's a pretty bad snowstorm. I got my little Volvo X70, right? And yeah, so they pass me as I'm turning in, but like I kind of hesitate because I see that they're trying to pass me. They hit my my review mirror and then smash into the telephone pole and spin out. And then the girl, his wife, starts freaking out on him. Yeah. And I think they were like coming back from a party and they were drunk or something, because the cops were like, who was driving? It was like the chick was driving, but I knew that the guy was driving. Yeah. But I didn't care. I was trying to like,
as long as it was not too much damage on your car, just your mirror.
Yeah, and I never got it fixed. I drove it like that for like a year and a half after.
No insurance claim or anything?
No. Who cares?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
My first car was Ford Escape. You've seen it.
Yeah.
Blue Ford Escape. That thing was great. It was my grandma's car. She was driving up to New Hampshire for a family reunion, and it just said it was done. So it like blew up. The shop said $8,000 and it'll be fine.
$8,000.
I was like, and my grandma was like, no, I'm not paying that. And so I got my sister's boyfriend at the time to fix it for like $500.
And you were like, man,
and it was great. She used it for a little bit because I didn't even have my license yet. And I didn't have my permit. And she drove back and forth to Yukon. And then I love that thing. I took it out in the snow one time. Like, we're on a pretty main street, and there's like another main street like right parallel to it.
Yeah.
And so like the main road, like if you're trying to get onto that other side, like there's a big cut through, but there's also a residential cut through that people don't really go through. And so it's like the last thing to get plowed because it's like no one cares. Like you're so
Definitely.
close. And I was like, well, I know I'm gonna go there because it won't be plowed yet. I can try to rip my front wheel drive Ford Escape at like 17 years old. And like it's a deep turn, and I just like went for it, and I just slid right towards the mailbox. I was like, oh, I was like, my parents are gonna be so mad. I said I was going to get like a coffee or something.
Every 17-year-old thinks it's gonna be like so easy to drift, and
Yeah.
then they just like slide sideways into a snowbank. It's
Yeah.
happened to everybody.
Yeah. I mean, now I have a rear-wheel drive car. It's light in the back. My truck just, I love it. It's too much fun.
It
But
is so
no,
much
it's
fun.
good. But yeah, Ken Block just died. That's another reason I brought this up.
Ken Block,
Yeah, he was like the
racer.
Yeah, like he's a stuntman. He created DC Shoes.
Oh,
And then-
wait, the guy that with Big Black?
No, but they did it together.
Yeah.
Who is that? Not
Rob Deerdeck.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Rob Deerdeck and Ken Block created DC Shoes together, and then he was like, I made $1 million or millions of dollars. Like, screw it, I want to race.
Yeah,
And then they started like a bunch of like racing stuff too. So, but he died in a snowmobile accident a little while back.
Oh,
like,
that's
a couple
too
weeks
bad.
ago.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like, over Christmas break.
Dude, snowmobiling accidents, it's got to be bad because you got to be doing crazy stuff with barely any snow.
Well, I think he like when I was like deep powder in like, I don't know, Colorado or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I think he went up and it landed on him in the tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true though.
Yeah.
So.
Who knows? I know. I was in the last podcast. I was saying some stuff like about someone who died, and I was like, maybe I don't really know the full story yet, but this is what I heard. You want to hear what I heard?
Right.
It's like, ooh, yeah.
But my family has property up in New Hampshire, so where my grandma was going up to the family reunion, and right next door is Team O'Neill Rally School, and so another rally driver named Tim O'Neill started a racing school, Team O'Neill, and they just like have tracks like this. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but and they just like train. So they do a rally stage out there, and I always like, because Ken goes out there, and I was like, or used to go out there, and I was like, oh, I'll see him one day, like driving around. That's not gonna happen.
But out west is different. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've only been out there once.
Me too. Yeah. Well, you drove out there. You had a closer experience to it. I flew out there and then just parked out.
Yeah. I didn't get as deep into the woods as I would have liked to, kind of thing. I was still taking 16 credits online,
yeah.
So like still had to stop into Starbucks and take my classes, kind of thing.
Yeah, but that must have taken forever.
It wasn't too bad.
Were you ever driving with the Zoom on?
I did like 1 or 2 classes I knew I didn't have to participate in. But it wasn't too bad. I drove through Buffalo on a Zoom call, and I was like, this is too much. And I just like turned it off. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Mark me absent. I don't want to crash.
Yeah, I would avoid every city if I drove across the country. I can't imagine like driving through New York or anything like that. Is there any way around it though?
So obviously there's going to be a way around it, but it's like, do I want to spend 3 hours just moving around this city to get to where I'm trying to go, or just suck it up and just kind of like drive through it and get to where I'm trying to go and hang out there or spend my time doing that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, true.
But, yeah. Art class was actually like my most time consuming.
Me too. During COVID, I was in that art class too. But you had a cool art teacher. I didn't really like my art teacher. You had like she gave you like assignments where you could be creative. My art teacher kind of like, I remember there was one assignment for you and Matt that were like, draw your favorite superhero, and he drew like a rapper. You know what I mean? And mine was more like, draw a picture of a bowl with bananas in it. Yeah. And just draw what you see. I was like, I liked the creative aspect to it a little bit, where you can like just draw what you want to draw and make it dope. It doesn't need to be like
make this perfect item on the counter.
Exactly. Yeah, because that is not, you're not going to need that in life. Yeah, it's not like it's helping
it's fun, but like, and maybe it does improve your skills a little bit more, but I think if you're having more fun doing it, that's how your skills really will improve. Like enjoying doing what you're doing instead of being like, oh, I have to do this.
Right. Yeah. True. But dude, that's cool. I wonder like if education systems are slowly going to start valuing creativity more, because they like don't have everything's like memorization, and that's like computer. Just everything helps with computer, you know.
It's also like the jobs. I don't know. I want to be in education in the future, and I think like the way we approach like teaching kids is like a really like delicate like space, and like we're just like make the kids memorize when the French invaded whatever, which I don't know if that even happened. I don't care. I'm not teaching history. But like I think it's more like let's connect with the kids, make them passionate about art, give them an assignment that they're passionate about, and then they'll want to go and practice drawing it here so that it's good on this one instead of just being like, oh, well, I just have to get this assignment done.
Yeah, and even I mean art classes, it's not even about like maybe the lesson is not about the art, it's more about just being like excited to be creative in life.
Yeah.
And applying it to other things, which like I said, like some of the smartest people in the world have no creativity,
which is like to me it's like
so
how smart
bizarre.
are you then?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And like I'm sure you have to be some sort of smart or creative to play the system, and I think that's how you get rich is playing the system.
I heard it's like left brain right brain type baloney.
Yeah,
like I don't really know, but like the left brain, if you're like left brain oriented, you have more like you're more creative a little bit, and the other one's like more like base math. You're probably going to be good at math and like figuring out like problem solving.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Who knows?
But
that's cool though.
It is cool to think about.
Yeah. I think like something like in the creative outlet is like especially because you see it so much with like young kids. It's like and as you grow older, it's more memorize this math, memorize these dates, and I think bringing back to like in college, them making us do like an art class, I think that's so cool. Like reconnect with that. And when I was a camp counselor, like I oftentimes would have the kids like stop and like write if they're getting like it's starting to like ramp up, and I think it's a really good coping mechanism for like draw out your feelings, like what are you thinking, like do it, express your feelings through art, and that can be applied to like any aspect of your life. I think
no, I heard this thing that was really cool, and it was basically showing like a faucet, and it was saying when it was flowing, that's basically your thoughts, but then they put a cup under that faucet, and then it was like, this is your thoughts when you're writing. Because
you're capturing
because it's what is when you have a thought, it's just flowing in your head and you just catch it at like in the breeze.
I guess
like it's weird when you think about it. Where do your thoughts come from? Like we say it's the brain, but we have no fucking clue. Is it the heart? Like what is it?
It's
like where do they feel like they come from? They feel like
soul.
True. Like when people say soul, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I mean it's so hard to quantify. Like what is your soul? Like but yet like when someone talks about their soul, like I get it. Like I feel like I have a soul. Like but what does that mean? I don't know.
True. There's like this weird thing that you can kind of feel, like the fifth sense. Everyone's got like four senses, but the fifth sense, it's like if I'm like whatever doing something I'm not supposed to, maybe like smoking weed in the parking lot, and I'm getting like super paranoid, and then the cops show up. It's like I had that like sense before it even happened.
Feeling.
The gut feeling, like what's about to happen before anything even bad seems like it's gonna.
And trusting your gut is something that's like everyone's like, yeah, trust your gut. And like, of course, like if you feel like something's off, like you should do something about it. But like, I feel like things are off all the time.
True.
Like, I mean, like sometimes I'm like, I should shut this computer right now. My gut tells me, and it's just like, that has nothing to do.
There's like a level of superstition behind that.
Yeah.
Are you superstitious?
I don't think
superstition-ish.
I don't think I'm that superstitious. Like, I can't think of really any. I'm more of a religious guy.
You believe in ghosts?
I don't. I like sometimes like I wish I did, but like I feel like I don't know. I haven't had any experiences that have led me to believe there's ghosts.
It's like you can't like people like overthink about it. It seems like it's like all the people who believe in Bigfoot have seen them, and all the people who like believe in UFOs have seen them.
Right.
It's like ghosts. that's more like that's been around a lot longer than UFOs or Bigfoot or these like myths that like, oh, maybe, you know, but ghosts have been around forever in every single society that's like, oh my God, his spirit is back to haunt me.
Well, I think it's just like an explanation for like something you don't understand. Like you hear like sometimes when you're camping and you just like hear something ruffle and
Yeah.
you're like that could be a bear or that could be like a mouse running through. And it's like your mind just like ramps things up real quickly.
Right.
It's like
They get it gets
that door
scared.
closed. There's a ghost. Like,
Right. It's either that it's like your mind thinks it's tricking itself to seeing it's a ghost, or it's actually there, or it's you are freaking yourself out,
Right.
or you just want to tell a story. I don't fucking know. Like,
and I guess me personally, my like thought process is even if it is a ghost, like fine, it's a ghost. Sure, it's a ghost. But how does it change me? Like being afraid of that ghost, like if that ghost is running around my house, I can either pretend it's there or like pretend it's not there, or like be scared of it all the time. It's like I'd rather just pretend it's not there, go on my own life and do my own
or just like
things.
accept that it is there.
Yeah, it's just like yeah, I guess.
I mean, like, accept that it is there and be like, oh, that's just the ghost. And then, like, what is it really going to do to you?
Well, I don't know. I don't what
What's the worst a
do
ghost
anything?
has done to somebody?
Close some doors. That's about all I've heard.
Yeah, ghost stories are a dime a dozen. A dime a dozen when they're actually scary.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he saw a ghost. Really?
Okay.
I thought I saw a UFO, and that's when it really scared me because I've never had like a UFO experience or nothing. And I'm like super into UFOs. I love them. I love the conspiracy theories. I love all that baloney, but I didn't want to see one because I didn't want to think that like I was like, no way, I saw a fucking UFO this weekend. You know what I mean? It ended up being Starlink.
Oh.
But I was like worried.
Right, yeah.
I was like worried myself a little bit that I was like, shit, now I'm gonna be like, yo, I thought I saw a UFO this weekend. People would be like, man, you crazy.
I am yet to see Starlink. I don't know how. Like I feel like I'm looking for it sometimes. So I think that's probably my problem.
I was like drunk in a field at this party at this 4-wheeling event, like in southern Maine, and it was just like it was everybody was like, whoa, what is that? Videoing like trashed in the field around a fire.
At least
tire fire.
If it was a UFO and there wasn't an explanation, there's like a whole crowd of people now.
Yeah,
all like,
true.
We saw a UFO.
Well, in like 1912 or whatever, there's this like Portuguese like myth or whatever.
Okay.
Fatima, I think it is. No. Yeah, the Eye of Fatima. And what it basically is there was like 3 sheep herders, 3 kids. What do you call them? Shepherds. Yeah. So there was like 3 shepherds, but they're all kids, 2 brothers and a sister. And then they said there's a spirit that came to them when they were herding sheep and said, come back here or in 3 days, and there's gonna be an event. And then they're like freaked out and went back to their home. They went back the next day. They said, come back in 2 days and bring people. There's going to be an event. And then they were freaked out or whatever, went back home. 3rd day in a row, same thing happened. Tomorrow there's going to be an event. Like,
pull up.
And so like they started telling everybody like, this is what's happening. Like we're seeing this girl in the sky that walks out of the sky like God, you know?
That's crazy.
And then they get the whole town there. Hold on, there's pictures of Fatima. I think it's the Eye of Fatima. Oh no, not the Eye of Fatima. That is a symbol.
The eye in the palm of the hand.
Story, Portugal. I'll hold on.
That's like a really common thing, like in the Bible. Like
in the Bible,
Jesus is born, the white angel appears to the shepherd, and they're like, "Yo, this kid's being born down in this barn. Go check it out."
Yeah, it's like light in the sky. I wish I could bring up the exact story. Kids see light.
Kids see ghosts sometimes
in sky. 1920. Portugal. Oh, this is getting way too broad. I don't know what it's called. Damn, if I could remember. But anyways, pretty cool story. And
No,
so that
yeah.
was like a wicked old UFO story. And I heard it through like my Portuguese.
Well, so what happened when the whole town pulled up?
So, what happened when the whole town pulled up? I want to show you because there's a picture that was taken.
Okay.
And it was like the whole town's like pointing to this thing in the sky. And this like ball of light came up over the horizon and like did a couple circles. And then like whatever they have first-hand witness, but it's 1912.
Right.
So
Yeah.
people don't even know how trees work.
Yeah.
So they're like, God was in the sky, you know? But
that's pretty crazy though. And the whole town was there. I feel
yeah,
like
it's like a woman in the sky. Portugal 19 early 1900s. Yeah, I want to get the oh, here it is. Okay, Miracle of the Sun, that's what it's called. The sun started doing like loops and like spinning around, and the whole town was here and was like looking at it.
Wow,
and,
that's a lot of people.
yeah, and they all are pointing to something, if you can see, because they're all looking at it and they're all like, what the hell is going on? And okay, the Lady of Fatima. Yeah, I was close in the Miracle of the Sun. The story of the famous whatever, May 1917, 3 children have claimed to encourage a Virgin Mary on their way home, trending a flock of sheep. Oldest girl, Lucia, was the only one to speak to her. And Mary told the children she would reappear in the 13th day of the next 6 months. Then she vanished. The children soon told their parents, and the village didn't believe their old tales, but more people did. And as weeks passed, a month passed, more faithful people believed Fatima, blah, 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 blah. The final appearance was on October 13th, 1970. That became the most famous in his book for Looking for a Miracle. States that an estimated 70,000 people were in attendance at the site, anticipating the Virgin's final visit, and many fully expecting that she would be a great miracle. As before, the figure appeared again only to the children, identifying herself as the Lady of Rosary. She urged repentance and building of a chapel at the site.
That's wild.
Sounds bullshit.
Yeah, did they build the chapel?
Did they build it?
If they didn't, if the whole town saw the sun doing loop-de-loops,
well, she predicted the end of World War One. After predicting the end of World War One and giving 3 children certain undisclosed visions, the lady lifted her hands from the sky and exclaimed, the lady lifted her hands to the sky and exclaimed, the sun. Everyone gazed upwards and saw a silvery disc had emerged from behind the clouds. They experienced it was known as a sun miracle.
Wow.
Not everybody reported the same thing. Some present claimed they saw the sun dance around in the heavens. Others said that they zoomed towards the earth in a zigzag motion that caused them to fear it might collide with our planet or likely burn it up. Some reported that seeing brilliant colors out of the sun is psychedelic pinwheel pattern, and thousands of others didn't see anything unusual at all.
Those eyewitness accounts are so accurate.
There was about 20 different things. The whole thing took about 10 minutes. The Miracle of the Sun, as it became known as the best events known at Fatima. Oh, it's a place. What happened at Fatima? What did thousands of reporters and witnesses see?
I bet someone dedicated years into this.
Just
being like, this is it.
This is it. We got it. People wrote books about it, obviously. They were invested.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Those kids.
What's your favorite conspiracy?
My favorite conspiracy? Oh, it's a dangerous game.
We can go down any rabbit hole.
I haven't done a lot of research. I think I'm not too interested in a lot of them have to do with politics. Like, was there a second shooter? Like,
Jeffrey Epstein.
9/11.
Jeffrey Epstein. There's a whole.
Yeah, and it's just I rather research things I'm more interested in. I rather research I don't know, tree fungus and that kind of thing instead of if there was a second shooter, because it doesn't really matter to me.
But
I don't trust.
How about this one? How about this one? This one's a cool one to think about. there is a conspiracy that says every single sports team is like in like the US is like under whatever, and they say every team that wins is because there's like political problems in that area, and it makes them think less about the political problems and more like go team. And they like they show like, oh, something tragic happened here and then this team won, so something tragic happened here and then this team won.
So are you saying like
they're like evenly divided around the north?
But are you saying like it's rigged to try to bolster like
people
morale?
No, it's rigged so people don't think about the politics of what's going on.
Okay, yeah.
And they just like are like, they just have a normal job, they just do their job, go home, watch TV, listen to sports radio on the ride, maybe eat a fucking chicken for dinner, rotisserie chicken, and wake up and eat peanut butter Captain Crunch, and that's their whole goddamn life.
To play devil's advocate on this, I would argue that maybe in like volatile situations where people are stressed out all the times, like sports are a good outlet.
Oh
and
yeah,
so they're
true.
more passionate, better fans, like really bring the energy to the games, and then the teams have more energy and they're more likely to win.
True. Good point. I think it's hard to say to a certain point. Like we've all been like, yo, this is fucking rigged.
Sometimes it really feels rigged.
Sometimes it really does. So it's hard to put it against it. And we have to know too that there was like an NBA ref that was caught in the mafia.
Yeah.
Like not that long ago. Like a couple of years ago.
I think with the increase in sports betting though, like, and the government's going to get their greedy little hands all over sports betting. I think in the next 6 years, if it is rigged, we'll know a lot more about it, because the government will like be trying to like hide it, and then people are trying to be outing it, and then it will be like more, because right now like sports betting is huge, like it's huge and it's growing,
and nothing can compete with like no ads. It's almost like Bud Light and sports growing now, or sports betting,
like FanDuel.
No, it's weird. You don't see like medical marijuana ads, but you always see beer ads and sports betting ads, and sports betting isn't legal in every state.
Yeah, I have no idea. And like you can't have cigarette ads, so it's like
weird.
What are these lines that we're making up? It's like you can advertise all you want about people getting drunk and like doing all
I
this,
bet I bet if you have one cigarette a day and one beer a day is going to be just as like just as detrimental to your health.
And it's just like, it was just dumb though, that like, don't advertise this, advertise that. It's just like, that doesn't seem like a free market to me.
Yeah, true. And half of the shit is like pharmaceutical companies. Like, if you can't get hard in bed, like that's Super Bowl ads.
Also, and like on so many levels, that's weird, because like like pharmaceutical companies advertising at all is wild. Like they don't even do that in other countries. Also, like if I'm a parent and I have like a 7-year-old kid and they're like, do you have trouble getting an erection? Like, I'm gonna be like, yo, like my kid's right here. Like,
yeah, true. There's always now that there's targeting ads. I'll be the one to say it first. I've been in some situations where I'm like, what are they advertising to me in front of people?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't live like this. I'm not that gross, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
strange.
Yeah, it's just so weird. But, dude, your computers know you better than yourself.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know myself that well, but I know myself better than my computer.
Yeah, dude, we just do what we just get up and do shit. We don't even know ourselves, honestly.
Coffee. Shower.
I'm hungry.
Class. I want food.
Yeah, dude, honestly, like humans are just like the most just get up and do something, not really think about it, just like do it. Not many people, I think, have purpose, like goals every day that they like want to achieve.
Are we supposed to though? Like think about like fish. Like there's millions of fish out there right now, and they're just swimming along. It's just like, and like, are they less of that? I mean, this sounds kind of nice.
Dude, do fish even sleep? Around. I don't even know.
They
must be so tired from swimming. Fish must be fucking pooped.
I've actually gone down this rabbit hole of do fish sleep? And I think some of them do for short periods of time, just kind of floating. But like sharks will like keep swimming.
Yeah, no, but sharks like, can't stop swimming.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they sleep. No one's trying to. They're just like apex predators. Yeah, they're like, I got a long way to go to Africa.
Do you ever like if you're walking along for like a long time, like I hear military people talk about this, especially if they're like marching, and then all of a sudden they're just like you get so like just in motion that you're just like I'm like dozing off right here, but I'm still moving forward. I'm sure like sharks must have. What is that,
dude? I just want to see like the great white shark poop.
I say I've ever seen a shark poop. I haven't seen many fish poop off. Oh, now it's back.
Good.
We're chilling. Bet.
Oh, somebody's been watching.
Oh.
Oh, look at that, dude. That's crazy. All right, let's go back for the camera. Out of the way, Joey. Oh,
it's green.
Look at the fish, though.
Oh, the fish are.
Oh, the people are right there. The people are getting the worst of it.
I guess there's valuable nutrients in that. In the poop, and the fish are like, I want some of that.
I heard that. Oh my god, they have wide bars. I bet a shark could get in there if you wanted to.
I would go swimming with sharks.
What?
I'd go swimming with sharks.
Yeah, Ella and Simon just did.
Really?
In South Africa.
That's sick.
It's really cool. I think Maine is like gonna be like the next shark like capital now that the water's getting warmer.
Up. We're moving up.
Yeah.
They were down in. I don't know what's going on. Well, I know aquariums in the world has great white shark.
Oh, I already know that. They're too big.
Yeah, I mean, probably shouldn't have a lot of the animals they got in the water.
I heard this thing. So there was this guy that was like, they have like a test site at the bottom of the ocean.
Okay.
And it's not that deep. I think it's like whatever, like 50 meters. Still
pretty
fucking deep, you know? And he said that the outhouse is like whatever, like just a little light that stays on like 15 feet away like, as you swim out.
Okay.
And so if you ever have to like take a dump in the middle of the night, you have to go. It's pitch black. You can't see anything. And
it's terrifying.
He said that as soon as you take a dump, 1 trillion fish go all up in your ass everywhere and eat you know what I mean, attached to you, and you have to like bat them away.
That's crazy. I guess we just saw it with the fish,
with that, the shark, but like, dude, that's how much of a fucking battle of evolution any nutrients is in the sea. It's like coral are taking up every single bit of it. Here, it's like, dude, you go poop, someone steps in it before they eat it.
Yeah.
There, it's like there's stuff that evolved to eat every single thing to make, you know what I mean?
I feel like there's not a lot of especially the deeper you go, there's less nutrients down there. So it's like
just plastic.
You gotta, you gotta
bottles, Heineken bottles.
Yeah, wasn't there like the Heineken bottle at like the deepest part of the ocean we've been to? It's just like, cool.
Yeah.
I bet
everywhere on Earth you go. That's what a forester said that was at UMaine. That was like, no matter where you are in the Maine woods, you will always find beer cans.
Yeah, I mean, you just find trash. Do you amount like back home walking through the woods, I see tires every like 200 yards. Like if I'm just like a tire, like every now and then you'll come across a car. I'm like, what is happening?
It's bizarre too. Like we obviously on the campground, this like huge campground. Somebody like dumps their trash on the campground road. It's a pain in the ass. Somebody has to come pick it up.
Stop that.
But what? That's really how people do things. Like, because why they can't go to the dump? I don't even know. It's too much money to get. It's too much money to get rid of their trash or something.
It doesn't seem to make less trash, like or whatever. Well, alongside all the tires, Monrovia, I'm coming for you. Been dumping thousands and thousands of like plastic pots, like for like because they're a nursery, and so all of the nursery pots just everywhere in the woods, like thousands of them. Like I have videos of
plastic.
Yep, and
it's just
my
god,
in the water, just like piles. It's like, what do we like? What's
it all
happening?
Grew back.
Well, no, it's just like the actual plastic pots, just like everywhere. Like, and like they're not even where Monrovia is. It's just like in the woods behind them. They're just like, oh, we don't need these anymore.
Yeah,
like,
what are we gonna do with these? Well, there's untouched nature.
Some woods
feet over there. No one's ever gonna know it was us.
It says right on
That's
the
the most
side
like,
of the pot.
yeah, that's the most 1950s like way of thinking.
Yeah.
They're like, well, where should we build the plant? Right on the river.
Which I mean makes sense. The
Yeah, I
logs are
mean, like
coming
it
through.
does. I mean, not even the logs. I was thinking like just like waste.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with waste before you know how bad waste is for life?
I feel like we figure out how bad it is for us before we figure out how bad it is for the environment. So we're
And
like,
then
get it away from
yeah,
us. And then
seriously, then it affects us.
yep. Well, so did the Black Plague.
Yeah. Dude, how do you think we're gonna go down?
I don't know. I think we'll survive a long time. I think there might be a huge decrease in our population, but like I think about volcanoes to me is like the scare because we have no control over that. If
Dude, well, I bet we will. By the end of the century, I think we're gonna be like a first level civilization where we can control our own planet. And I bet by the end of like 1,000 years or 2,000 years from now, we'll be able to control our solar system. And I bet like 100,000 years from now, we'll be able to control other solar systems.
but like
You know?
I don't know how I feel about that. Like
Yeah,
we
true.
like fires used to be a big problem for us. And we're like, oh, watch this. We can get rid of fires. Like watch us stop. And now we're like, what we needed those. And like
yeah.
so what if there's like a big reason we need volcanoes like to like reestablish
True,
like the way the earth goes? And then we're like, nope, no volcanoes are ever exploding on our planet again.
Right.
And then
Or are we doing it in like a controlled way? Like once out of every like 100,000 years, we like pop a zit on the earth and like we release all that like bad shit.
Everyone leave Yellowstone National Park and
Yeah.
the rest of America. We're gonna blow up the volcano.
Yeah, the rest of America. Or we just like channel the liquid. Or honestly, like this is what science I bet would figure out. They would like be like, see all this hot magma? We're gonna channel it so it blows up in the middle of the Pacific.
That's I mean, like there's just like leaking volcanic like what is it?
Yeah, it's
lava
boiling
it's just,
like in the bottom of
that's
the ocean.
crazy.
That is nuts. And dude, there is like forms of life down there that have it's basically how they are, not to go back on aliens, but it's basically how they have they're seeing this life form that exists only from like I'm trying to think of the biology term, but it only exists because of the heat that the like lava brick comes off the like the bottom of the ocean. So it doesn't get its energy from light. It gets its energy without any oxygen. So it is atrophic. I can't remember all the terms. I sound like an idiot, but it doesn't have any oxygen and it doesn't create photosynthesis. So it's like this like new type of life form that we don't even really know. It's at the bottom of the deepest parts of the ocean. And that's how we think like whatever, like plants on other planets are gonna like make energy. Like
sounds like the
from
winner
methane.
of global warming. They'll do great with global warming. They won't care.
Yeah, they won't give a fuck. They'll be like, dude, man. I think a lot of species will do fine with global warming, like red maple.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have a problem.
Yeah, red maple is gonna thrive.
They're gonna be, yeah.
And
I think a lot of species,
maybe humans.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah,
like
I
it's
mean,
not ideal. Like maybe we can't live near the coast like we are right now,
yeah.
but like,
or we could
figure it
just
more.
yeah, in more, yeah. I think it's no matter what side of the spectrum you're on, you got to be in the middle a little bit. If you're on either side, like we're all gonna die because of climate change, or like we're gonna be totally fine, like you're just an idiot. Like you got to be like look, we're gonna be fine, but we gotta like at least make a conscious effort to.
And it's doing your part. Like I'm not gonna throw my trash at this random people's campground.
Yeah, or just I'm not gonna dump my teapots in the middle of the woods. Like
Right.
corporations are just gonna be like, I'm just gonna ruin this like forest forever, forever.
Just because I don't know what else do you do to them.
Yeah, what else do you do with them though? That's the like a real question. What do you do with trash? Just
I know it, and I think I'm so holy because I put it in a dumpster and it goes in the ground somewhere else instead of in my backyard. It's like,
yeah, instead of your backyard. There's like not much you can do when you're like living as a person in society to stop like the environment from being
I mean,
like
I think you can limit the amount of like trash you're making.
right.
Because when I'm camping, if I'm out there for 3 days, I'll make half a trash bag full of trash.
Yeah.
And then
Not even, yeah.
when I'm here, I I probably fill a trash bag up like in like 2 days. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like it happens. I feel like I'm making a lot more trash when I'm like out
Just
here.
living.
Yeah.
It's cheap to have a lot of like not single use.
Well, yeah.
Kind of single use items.
Like a ramen packet. You just toss it. Like I don't eat ramen really, but
yeah, true. But how else do you like fix that in grocery store? Single use plastic. You can't.
No, and I think it's really hard, especially for like communities that are like on the poor side. It's like the cheap food is in a single use plastic. Like,
right, exactly.
I don't know.
It's like what they did glass bottles for so many years.
And they put like not freon, like and mercury in the bottles.
Oh,
like,
really?
Look at this, and then it's like, well, we can't do that. Stop all glass. And it's like, oh, now we're all plastic. We're like, get back to glass. No plastic.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Who knows? Honestly, it's so weird. I just do what they say. Wear a mask. I wear a mask.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean,
eat healthy. Now I'm just like realizing, just eat healthy and everything's gonna be fine.
My biggest thing is eat local. I think
eat local. Yeah, that's good.
And like,
I started drinking. I didn't tell you. I started drinking milk from Sherman Farms. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
That first sip, that first quarter of the jug with all the cream at the top.
You gotta shake it up.
I don't shake it up. I just
eat
all that cream.
All the fat.
Yeah, all the fat, all that cream. It's so goddamn good, dude. Especially the chocolate milk. And I agree. Eat local.
Yeah, it supports your local economy. It's just so good on so many levels. And also, you know what you're getting. Like, my back home, everyone I know like has beef cows or they grow corn. Right. And it's like it's not that hard. Like, it's harder than going to the grocery store, but it's like,
but if you go to the grocery store, you're probably going to buy meat and you have no idea where it came from, what part of the animal it came from, how many people have touched it. You might not even know what animal it is.
And I like
sometimes you are like it's just a steak. Yeah. It's just a steak. Like, what do you know what type of
we'll find out. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Good. Tastes good.
Cheap taste
barbecue.
Yeah. It's tricky, but it's good.
Yeah, no, totally. It tastes better, it makes you feel better. And like it is more expensive, but I think it makes, I don't know, valuing food is a whole like part of life.
Yeah, and make it a barter system. Grow something of your own. Trade it with them. Like buy blueberries from me, make blueberry jam, sell it to Fred who's giving you steaks. Like,
exactly.
Make it all work.
And it's like if you like plan out and really run the errands and make the food like previously in the week, then you like have a connection to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, I want to make it better every single time. You know exactly what you want.
It makes it fun too.
It does, dude. When somebody else is making your food, you don't have the same appreciation for every time you eat. You're just like,
but it's really nice.
So easy. It's so easy. Stuff that is really nice is just not ideal for like a challenging life.
Yeah, a lot of things that are hard are good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Eating healthy. It's good for you, apparently.
So they say.
Not really sure.
How long have we been going?
43 minutes.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about, Joe?
I don't know.
I want to see this fish poop now.
More fish poop.
We want more fish poop.
That was good. A dangler. It's nasty.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
It only
that does not look healthy.
Yeah.
It looks like a tapeworm.
Being a fish just would not be that fun. You know?
Don't knock until you try it.
True. Don't knock until you try it. But especially like pet fish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
I have a pet fish. It's still alive. I've never fed it. So it's in a self-sustaining tank though,
we had a fish named, me and Kirsten, the first time we went on a date, we like got 2 fish, and one was named Betty White, and then mine was named Takashi because I like Takashi 6ix9ine back then. It was like his first week being famous, and so Betty White died like that night, and Takashi was alive for like 4 years. Yeah, he was alive like 4 years, and he whatever, and he was like a pain in the ass basically because I just brought him home and my parents were like, yeah, and my sister, my 7 years younger than me, Sally, fed him every day, and so she just became, Takashi was Sally's for the time being. After I got out of my SAT one day, I had like this vase, and I never had a fish. I just put the water in the vase to the very top so it looked really cool,
Yeah.
And then I like left, and I was like, "Peace, Takashi." And then I like came back, and I was like, "Where the fuck is Takashi?" And I like start freaking out. I'm like, "Damn, where the fuck did he go? Where could he have gone?" And then I like start looking around. I'm like, "Oh my god, he's like right here." And I like take him off the carpet. I'm like, put him back in the thing. He starts swimming around.
He was alive?
He was alive, dude.
Wild.
Alive. So then years later, my whole family's getting sick of it, basically. So he's about to die. He's got like this, like his tail's like rotting, it's not looking good. So I go to Petco and get a fish exactly that looks exactly like it. Flush Takashi, put the new one in. And they've been like, "Oh my god, we've had this fish and it's lasted like 6 years." They have no idea. It's 2 fish.
Really funny. That's like something a parent would do for a kid. And
Oh,
the kid
they have
the
no
parents.
idea. They have no idea. And I keep, yeah.
That's
So.
awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So now you know, if you hear this, mom and dad, Takashi, it's actually Takashi number 2.
No, it's not.
They're like, "Oh my god, his tail rot's getting better." And I was like, "Oh yeah,
for sure.
That's crazy."
Yeah, we had a betta fish growing up all the time. I had a cat kill a few of them here and there.
Jumping in the tank?
Yeah, just like they'd be open and he would just. But one of them jumped out. I was home on a sick day, so I woke up. I was like, didn't go to school, or maybe we just had the day off, like a snow day or something. And I like walk out, and the fish is just solid on the table next to the tank. I was like, "Well, the fish is dead, guys." I got home. I was like, "Mom, your fish is no more."
That is so funny. Fish just die. I mean, like. Okay, I want to tell so many stories right now. I got so many stories under my lip. I'm like, oh man, hold on. If you start telling one, I gotta go blow my nose. I'll be back.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Well, we've had a lot of animals die in my day, which is it's tough, but that's okay. I don't know. I think it builds character. I think you get an appreciation for the life cycle. I think like fish, they're very disposable. I think guinea pigs are also that way. Teach your kid responsibility, but not too much pressure on how long it's going to last. I also think chickens are that way. We used to get like 20 chickens every year, and then by the end of the year, they were all dead from weasels or raccoons. It doesn't matter how much you fortify it, they're done. And then you just buy 20 more, and you get eggs for another year. Still cheaper than buying eggs from the grocery store. Gotta figure out this screen. You cannot see this screen at all, Manny.
No.
It's just all wash out.
Yeah, I wonder what I could do about that. Wait, could you turn the brightness down in here? Oh no,
didn't do anything. Well, I guess that's just the screen.
Yeah,
not that one. That's okay.
Anyways, yeah. What were we talking about?
Disposable animals like fish, chickens, and guinea pigs.
Yeah. Well, if it's like agreed upon that, like say for example, you're raising a cow. One of my buddy's ex-girlfriends came from like a cattle raising family, and they would raise cattle and then sell them for whatever, like 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole different process if you're gonna like raise something to slaughter it, and that's like agreed upon, like we're all gonna eat it or sell it. It's gonna be worth it, if it's like kind of like a time date coming, then it's more, you're more maybe suspected. Even when it's healthy, they'll kill it like when it's like perfect, healthy, like
that's the best time to do
that's
it.
the best time to do it, which is the craziest part.
I raised cows.
And yeah,
I've been through that.
exactly. So whatever, I think putting like a time date on that for humans is not as easy, or anything.
Of course, like
for anything.
I feel like the more emotional attachment you have to it, it's like harder. Like dogs, even like your dog is your best friend, and then like when it goes away, you're like, I know it's not just a dog, but it's like just a dog, and it's like it's tough. You just gotta move on, get another one.
True. You just gotta move on.
And maybe that's real cynical.
No. I know what you're saying. I feel like there's like I think about that sometimes. I feel like I knew a lot of people when I was a kid that died, that were maybe from just cancer, or just a lot of people that just passed away. There's people passing away all the time, and I don't know if that affects me today, but it's like I don't want to turn into that guy, you know. It's like, yeah, I'm just like really messed up from that. No, so you want to fuck?
No, like, that is like
I just had a really tough childhood.
Hearing like your friends pass away, or like having that, and like even having like people.
It's such a weird concept.
Yeah,
it's like I can't talk to them anymore.
I can't imagine being a parent losing a child. Like,
that's like not how it's supposed to happen.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I feel
really is terrible. And it's like that's probably the hardest thing that anyone would have to go through, losing their child.
I've lived a pretty privileged life, I'd say.
I did too.
Like, not having to deal with anything like that, that's for sure.
Exactly. No, I surely haven't either, luckily. But I mean, dude, people can be, I don't know. I have no idea. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, like people dying, or animals dying. Like it does make you grow, maybe, and like not in a good way sometimes, like in a bad way sometimes. Maybe like the unexpected deaths are the hardest.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, like that makes
no matter what age.
And then back to the livestock. When I bought my cows, I was like, all right, 2 years time, I go to the slaughterhouse, and it's part of the process. And then
exactly.
Even like I had one of them die halfway through with a twisted stomach, and like that one was like more like sad than like when it was time to like slaughter the other cow. It was like okay, it's lived its whole life cycle.
Yeah.
And where the first one, it's like I didn't even make any money off of this cow dying. I just lost thousands of dollars.
Yeah, dude, that does suck. You have to buy a calf.
Ground. Yeah.
You just have to raise it.
Yep. And if it dies, it dies.
It had twisted stomach.
Yeah, I got it on
8
sale.
of them, right?
I only had 2 at the time.
No, 8 stomachs.
8. Well,
doesn't it like
have 8 stomachs?
Digest to one.
It's like, oh my gosh,
it's like
the mason, the abomason, the reticulum.
You know,
that's all I know.
Oh,
I know that. We used to be quizzed on it. I used to get tested on how the stomachs of the cow. The ADGA scorecard was like, how do you rank a goat? You had to know like how much is the back leg worth on the how much is like in each part of the body is given a different point value.
That's crazy. You could sell all parts of the goat.
I pretended to. I didn't. I was not. I'm not still not the. I don't know.
I feel like you only see that in like hunters do that. Like use every part of the animal. Hunters, I mean farmers don't. Do they do that?
I think definitely like if you're a farmer who's like not like making millions and millions of dollars, you're gonna use like I mean that's how my grandparents grew up and how my mom grew up, and like you're eating head cheese, you're eating liver.
Is mad cow disease when you eat the brain of the cow?
No, mad cow disease is when it's cannibalism. So like if a cow eats beef, you can get mad cow disease.
Oh, so yeah. So can you eat the brain?
Yeah.
Of the cow?
Yeah.
What can't you eat the brain of?
I don't know, but that's what my mom tells horror stories of her walking down to the freezer and opening it up, and there's just a cow head there because they used to make the brain out of cheese.
Yeah.
Like you turn it into cheese and then eat it, and like there's just a whole cow skull in your freezer when you open it up.
That's bizarre.
Yeah,
I'd wear it. A morbid Halloween costume.
That would be pretty wild.
Yeah,
but I've not eaten. I've tried head cheese just because.
Yeah, you have to.
But I
love cheese.
I gave the slaughterhouse. I was like, I want this, and that, and you can do whatever you want with the rest. Like, I'm making my money on this. No one's gonna want to buy. Like,
right.
And I was all sold when well, not all of it, but like with the pigs, like I would sell it, and so like the people already knew what they were getting,
right?
And like I'd be like, do you want the like hooves? Because like people make like stew out of it or whatever. I was like, they're like, no, we don't want the hooves. And I was like, okay, well then I'm not gonna get them. So,
totally, yeah. You know that story about the people in Russia that they were like doing like GIS surveys on basically over a bunch of like land in the middle of nowhere up there.
Okay.
They were like, oh my god, what the hell is this square in the middle of nowhere? And so they sent like a helicopter out, and it was like a family. It was like whatever, like 2 people, because like, or 8 people, right? And so they're like, oh my god, what happened? So apparently it was like when Stalin was in power, the 2 like military guys came up to their farm and they were like, yo, you guys got to go to war. And they were like, no, or whatever, like, or you got to get out of town or something like that. And so what happened was, and then like the military dude shot the dude that ran away's brother, like right there. So he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And so he took like all of his family and kids and went to like northern Russia, basically, where there's no one. And this was like whatever, 1920s. So he lived there, built a little hut, lived there, just grew potatoes. But the thing about them is that they can't eat anything with a hoof, because it's against their religion to eat gelatin. Okay. So they were like, they would eat bear, and they would eat potatoes. Burnt potatoes was like their main source, basically. A
superfood, by the way.
Right. So that when they pulled in, like with a helicopter, they were like, what the fuck is this? 1. And 2, they were like, their first question was, what are the stars, the moving stars? Because they didn't know what satellites were. That's what they were really freaked out about. And
that's wild.
So what happened was they took back all these 8 people. And so what happened was he took his whole family and then his brother's family too.
Okay.
And said, here, we're gonna
post up.
We gotta post up out of here. And they lived like that 100 years, and all they had was an 8-inch piece of glass. That was their only window, and 1 8-inch piece of glass. And
I bet you don't want much more than that because it's cold.
Yeah. And so they brought him back to like normal society, and they were like, what we miss the most out of everything is salt. We need salt. And because they haven't had anything in years.
That's fair. How do they preserve their meat? Well, I guess if it's always cold.
Always like freezing.
Yeah, salt is like the preserver.
Exactly. So go back to fucking society, eat McDonald's. I don't know what they had. They probably had just normal food.
Yeah.
You know? Killed them. Six of them. The salt killed 6 of them.
We eat a lot of sodium.
God,
that's crazy.
Since their bodies weren't used to it, it killed them all. And so then the 2 people that survived, these two women survived, and they said, "Fuck this, I'm going right back." And they still live there. They're like 80 or 90, in the middle of nowhere. Just grow potatoes. They have a dog that just basically protects them from bears.
And that's like wild. We like see these people living out there. They've been out there for like 100 years, and we're like, you're doing it wrong. You're missing out. Come to society. You're wrong. And then they come to society, they die. And then 2 of them go back, and they're like, all right, let's just do it our own way. That was working way better.
Yeah, in Siberia. Yeah, a Russian family of old believers spent 42 years in 42 years isn't that long. It's still long. Pretty long. Still a long time in partial isolation from the human society in another way. Yeah, I think it's pretty
isolated.
Pretty isolated. Uninhabited upland of the Baiken range. So up there.
Yeah.
Up there, you know. Southern Siberia. So I don't even think it's that north. I think Southern Siberia is still middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
you know. And since 1988, only one daughter survives. But that's crazy.
Since they moved out.
So, well,
Since they were reintroduced to society.
Exactly. And I think here's the picture of, I don't know. This is just said dozens found dead after Russian bombing in Ukraine.
Getting all the Russian propaganda coming out.
Yeah. Crazy though. In 1936, they were under threat. So it wasn't 1920s. And the guy that ran away died of hunger. Oh man, I wonder if they ate him.
It would be a real situation where I would have to eat someone. Like it would take a lot for me to get to the point. Yeah. I think I would probably sacrifice. Like it may be in like a dire situation where someone's already dead and it's life or death.
Right.
But even then, it's like you could get saved tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, dude. But it's saying that most of these guys died, like they died of pneumonia. One of them died of just like,
while they were out there.
Yeah, while they were died of pneumonia. One of them died. They're like just out of the whole people. All the people died from kidney failure, harsh diet. It's mostly.
Oh, so they didn't come back to society and then die. They were dead out there.
When they came back to society at first. So when they found them, they said, "Come back to society,"
and then they all died.
Yeah, and then two of them said, "I'm out. I'm going back out." And then this one chick has lived alone since 1988, and then there's one geologist for 18 years that has lived with her. Imagine that, dude. Spending 18 years of your life with someone who's like known about nobody. She's like,
I mean, if
it's probably like she's probably has a really like deep connection with just,
but smart and very, very capable. Like imagine like living alone for like a long time. Like you have to be like really strong. And, dude. Really know what you're doing.
You gotta be jacked, and you gotta have a jacked personality and mental. It's this you don't know Kingfield, but there's this woman that Kirsten takes care of who's Finnish, and her family. So she was born, I think, when her family immigrated. They were trying to have her born in America, and so they immigrated to Kingfield, which is middle of nowhere in Maine. It's huge, total mountainous where Sugarloaf is. And so they moved there because there's a Finnish community, but they had no money. And so when they were like 1, 2, 3, and then they hiked all the way to Norway, Maine, which is like a 3.5 hour drive away until they got a job. They hiked until they got a job over mountains on trails. That's what she with a whole family, and everything. I'm like, that's 1930s for you, 1940s. Like people are just like, I don't have a job. I gotta find a job. Let's go to the next town. I don't have a car either, so we gotta walk.
Well, let's get
There's
moving.
a trail. There's a trail. We go up there.
That's pretty baller though. That's a different way of life.
Yeah. And Helen, the girl, says that she has her memories are of being like 3 years old, like walking to Norway and like crossing like mountains and like bridges, and like her mom carrying her on this like teeny bridge across this like whatever.
Because like a 3-hour drive, like that won't take you that long, like in the scheme of things. But to like pack up your whole life and be like, all right, let's go.
I'm going to Norway, which is like not even that far realistically.
But like you're walking there, and like all your stuff. It's like, all right,
you're not on a boat. You're not in a car. You're walking there.
It's kind of cool though, nomadic.
It is. It wasn't even that long ago where people didn't have the choice not to be nomadic.
Yeah, the first class in our history class were talking about like his big point was that we like immigrated south. Like everyone thinks like we go like east or west, and it's like people came in over Alaska and then just kind of like booked it, like following all the game.
But we went everywhere.
We went south, and then we're like, what do we go here?
I don't even know why the fuck we would go up there in the first place.
Where?
Alaska.
That's where we came from.
I know.
Because we came from
Like the Stone Age and everything. Why would we go over to Alaska?
Well,
Like
because we came from this
Western
side,
or
and we went
Eastern Russia. Like what is over there? I'm shocked that we made it that far.
like from Europe. Are you saying
From
like,
Europe, from Africa,
Middle East,
Like-
Africa? Yeah, it's like. Well, I mean, it's easier to go that way than it is to go that way. Like if you're standing there, it's like
true.
oh, there's an ocean.
Apparently, Florida gets sand from the Sahara Desert when it's like windy. You can like feel sand. That fucking hurts. But it's like micro pieces of sand. But still,
what a journey that little sand particle went on.
Just in wind, dude.
Well, I guess it was a rock at some point.
Right.
That's pretty weird to think about.
It is weird, and then it becomes a bigger rock at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Sedimentary, right?
I mean, like if it gets eaten by the lava we were talking about earlier,
right.
But yeah, if you're in Africa, like eventually you figure out how to get to like the Middle East, and then you go there, and then like you get here, and if you can walk from
China to Alaska, that's where I'm questioning really everything.
I mean, they had thousands of years. Like that took thousands of
years. But why?
Yeah.
Why it's not like
because they're hunter gatherers, and so they see animals migrating north and south. And so they're following them to be like, I found this food supply. Let's follow them north.
They probably found so much game in Alaska. There was so much game here in Maine 100 years ago. There was elk. There was everything. Caribou, everything. But now there's...
Have you ever seen an elk?
No.
It's pretty crazy. They were in, I don't know, one of the national parks I was in. They were just like walking around. I was like, oh, that's it. And they were like screaming. They're like, ah! I was like, okay, that's not a deer.
That is cool, dude. Dude, going back to that though, if you lived out there, my biggest question is, how did you live without eating anything with a hoof? Deer, moose, bear. What else is there? Lynx,
beavers.
Yeah. He said, oh, that's what they would say is they would basically spend a whole day hunting because they had a rifle.
Okay.
But
not much ammo, probably.
Yeah, hardly any ammo. And they said they would spend a whole day hunting, run after this animal all day, and then shoot it, but then have no way to bring it back.
That's tough.
And so because they were so far away, and they'd be like
field dress it and pack it as much as you can.
Yeah, they couldn't even do that because they'd be so tired. They were so hungry anyways.
So they were like, eat the heart.
Eat it raw, dude. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Have you seen that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Revenant?
I've not.
That's a crazy movie, dude. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's that one scene where he eats like raw meat. He's like,
I mean, like a lot of hunters still like take a bite out of the heart.
You can?
Yeah.
Well,
it's like
does it still beat?
I don't know, but like they like.
Well, it's still beat.
Like I know it's like a rite of passage for your first like deer kill. You're supposed to like take a bite out of the heart.
I'll try it.
That's pretty baller, I guess.
It's weird that more people don't like know what venison tastes like, or moose, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've had moose.
Never had moose.
I don't think so.
It's like more valuable.
It's also like there's less of them.
It can't be valuable because you can't sell it. But
yeah,
it's like what do you call it?
Supply and demand.
You can't. I don't really understand this part. I don't understand this. So Donald Trump Jr.
Okay.
He's like a big game hunter. Of course he is. He's fucking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Checks out.
Biggest animal. I want to shoot it. That's definitely that guy for you.
Yeah.
And so he shot this huge fucking moose in Maine. There's a picture of it.
Teddy Roosevelt has
He's riding a moose in Maine. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And where was I? So yeah, he shoots the biggest moose in Maine. So I'm like, how did he get a permit? Is that like a money? You can just pay for a permit if you have enough money.
I think it's a lottery system. Like the only way, I'm pretty sure the only way to get it is a lottery system where you can like enter the lottery, and if you get the ticket, like if you get the like pass to go hunting,
yeah,
you can sell that.
Oh, really?
So like if I won it, I could sell it to you.
Look at this big honker.
That is a big moose.
I can't. It's never gonna be able to see it on the.
Yeah.
It's too
I'll just
bad.
press that. I don't know what that does. Oh, sick.
That's crazy though. I mean, that's
That is pretty
that
cool.
that is a massive moose. But is that even? It's not even like trophy hunting is just not that cool to me. It's really what it
Alaskan moose.
comes down to. It's Alaskan.
I don't know.
I think it's a Maine. I don't know. Doesn't fucking matter. But yeah,
That's pretty cool. I'd love to go on like a. I'm not a big hunter. I think I could get into like trapping or coyote hunting. I don't know why coyote hunting like makes me excited, but it does. But
yeah, because they're bad.
Yeah,
You gotta kill them. You gotta kill
Yeah,
them.
they
Like,
eat my chickens.
invasive. Don't eat my chickens.
But I'd love to go on like a fishing like expedition out in Alaska. Like,
Oh yeah, dude.
yeah, I'm not big on like going in like guide services, like, especially now that I've been a guide. It's like I don't really want to like feel like there's better ways to do it. But like if I'm on like a fishing trip, like I'd love
You're
to have
catching
like
fish.
yeah, I'd love to have like a guide be like, all right, we're gonna go up this river.
Yeah, I know exactly where to go.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Totally, dude. There was shit, what was I just gonna say? Yeah, no. I don't I wanna if I was to go to Alaska, it's so big that it seems like to see one dope thing, you have to go really far. And if you
Yeah.
want to see something else in Alaska
You
that's also
have to go
dope,
somewhere else far.
you have to go really far in another place in Alaska.
My relatives up in Alaska, they've invited me up there, and I've wanted to go up so bad. I just have it hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
It's also like I don't know them.
Yeah.
Like I just like know we're related. So like,
what's up?
like,
Yo.
hey, can I crash at your house?
Well,
for
I
like
get a job
week?
at the gas station for 6
Right,
weeks
yeah.
until I save up enough money for my own place.
But they live in Angoon, which is like an island that you have to like take a boat to. Obviously, I guess that's how most islands work.
Yeah, yeah.
But and like super sick though. She's like native Alaskan. Like
that's
been there.
cool.
Yeah,
That is really cool. And you're related to them how?
Married in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like yeah. I
Well,
don't
hey,
really,
that's-
I've like I said, I've never met her. Her daughter goes to school like West Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere.
You know,
DC?
you know Kyle Smelter? We did forest veg and stuff with him.
Yeah, I know that name.
He I was on Snap Maps this summer and I was like just like zooming around, you know, looking, and I was like, holy shit, look, there's like somebody at the very tip of Alaska, Burrow, Alaska.
That's crazy.
It's not even like Burrow, it's like the most northern part. And I was like, Kyle, what are you doing in Alaska, bud? And he was like, I'm studying wood ducks. And I was like, that's cool.
Fair enough. That's pretty
That is
sick,
pretty cool.
yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even know there were animals up there. I thought it was just snow.
Cold.
Bears. Have you seen that Alaska Frontier show?
I haven't
That's
watched
really
much
cool.
of it. I like always like start those reality type shows and I like
Yeah.
love it, and then I'm just like, I don't know. It
I'm
loses me.
getting more and more into national. I feel like I'm just getting old. Like National Geographic reality TV, which I used to love when I was a kid, and I still do. But it's just like How to Catch a Smuggler. Like I could watch that all day.
That's funny. Yeah,
I told this story on the other one too. There's like, I don't know how they do it. It's the base. There was like a base. I already told you the story, Joey, I guess, but I'll tell it now that I started myself. So they were like, whatever. Hey, this guy, let's pat this guy down, whatever. So he has like a instrument with him, like a bass guitar. And so like they break it down. They're like looking at the bass guitar, like, doesn't look that bad. They're all looking in this case. They're like, can't find anything. And then they're like, oh my God. Oh, I know what it is. And then they're like, play this guitar, buddy. And he like can't play it, doesn't know how. They're like, oh, okay. And so they take a like screwdriver and they crack the bass in half, and the bass is made out of cocaine. The whole bass. And they're like, oh, all right, we got you.
That's wild. Jackson brought his Legos out.
Oh, Jackson.
Talk about conspiracy theories.
Yeah, conspiracy it up.
That's beautiful though, Jackson. That is very well.
You were working hard.
That is really funny.
Never forget.
Enough said.
So yeah, dude, the end of the skyscraper.
What?
The end of the skyscraper. That after 9/11, like Like cities are not vibing with skyscrapers anymore. They're
I
not
don't think
building them.
that's true. I think people are building like in Dubai. They got so many
Yeah, they
skyscrapers. They're going
do.
crazy.
But they have like different ones now. Like they'll have like extremely like luxury apartments.
Yeah,
It won't be like business like Empire State Building.
because you can run it out. You just work from home now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
why you need to come into the office?
You don't even need to go down your 90 fucking floors.
Yeah,
To get to the bottom. That's bizarre. People live like 90 floors up.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. I don't know. I wouldn't feel very safe at night.
No. I guess it's like living like in a treehouse.
Hey, kind of. A lot of people around you though.
A lot of fucking people, yeah. It's just bizarre to me that they can, I know it sounds stupid, but like even fathoming building a building the size of some buildings in New York,
Yeah.
and they're like an architect, yeah, figure out how to do all of it.
I could literally never, like, even if I figured it out, like, even if I could 100% like get it to where it would work, I'd be like, yeah, but what if like a big gust of wind comes?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Ever heard of an earthquake? Like, I feel like it's just gonna.
True. They probably made so many mistakes though now. They got like literally buildings on springs. So the earthquakes don't even
sick.
It is sick.
I'm big into vertical farming. I want
vertical like the Japanese rice farming.
No, it's like the biggest thing right now. Like there's one in Chicago I was looking at. They like bought an old Target, like the Target closed, and it was like a 3-story Target in Chicago because it's Chicago. And then this company bought it, and they're turning it into a vertical farm. So like each floor will have like layers and layers of like growing operation in there.
That's cool.
And so but then it cuts down on transportation costs. It cuts down on everything because you're right in the city. Like,
but so how much can they grow and how fast can they grow it?
They can grow it. I mean, as fast as like any greenhouse would.
Yeah.
And like you can fit quite a bit. And like that's the concept of vertical farming is instead of breaking it this way, like in a field, let's stack our field on top of each other.
Right. And just have massive skyscrapers.
And like that's the future. Like
the future is like a farm and like you're partying on the top. and that's like where like the city is, and you just take like bridges to each top of the building.
Yeah,
cool. That's cool, dude.
I think the biggest problem right now is like the weight of soil or like substrate to grow in is a big problem, and all the water is also
that's super heavy. But at the same time, think about what Target is holding up.
I know,
like, dude, alone water weight in Americans. Like that's gotta be like a shit ton. But too, iron buildings are holding themselves up.
Yeah,
like that's crazy. A huge gust of wind, I can't even like stand up straight sometimes.
It's like I have to really lean into it.
Yeah, it's like whoa, it's crazy that like humans can build something that lasts not only like 100 years, 1,000 years. Like pyramids lasted forever, but how long would it take if all humans just disappeared? For a skyscraper to just,
I mean,
like disintegrate.
If it was finished today and then tomorrow, like everyone's gone.
Yeah,
I don't know. I bet it would take a while.
I mean, million years?
No, like I think
in the concrete.
I think there'd be like remnants of it, but it wouldn't stay standing.
Yeah,
but I mean, like look at like Chernobyl. Like everything's like still intact. Like where it was
that's
left.
Nothing.
I know it hasn't even been that long.
Yeah. I bet like 30 years.
I think you'll see. We're leaving a deep imprint on our land.
But anywhere else, like we've seen, like there's ruins maybe of like in the Amazon jungle of like ancient societies, this and that. But we've never seen like a modern society or like Greece or Rome or any place like that just gets up and leaves. Maybe what is that? The people that lived in that on the side of the cave there in the in Arizona, in the Grand Canyon there.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember the name of it. God damn it. I don't know. But anyways, like we've never seen any like society just get up and leave. Like what would happen to their buildings, to anything?
I mean,
they usually get raided.
Yeah. Well, because it's like there's only so much land.
Yeah.
Like, and we've pretty much found it all now. Like, I don't know. Like, and like, it hasn't been that long. Like, since we switched over to an agricultural society, like we have like the first generation of like Aztec people and like the Native Americans and like all that, and then like the Europeans came over, and we're really kind of in just like the second generation of like humans.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true actually, but
you
that's
know.
the knowledge I
Think about it. There's
think I
probably
have.
like 5 generations. Like since like George Washington.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Like your parents. Like those guys were probably voting on whether it was going to be Andrew Jackson or George Washington or whatever.
Yeah.
Like since the beginning of the American society.
Mine weren't. Mine illegally jumped the border from Canada and went through Ellis Island.
Maybe, I don't know. I think my mom's just like Maine through and through.
Yeah.
She's got to be French or something.
Yeah, probably like French Canadian.
Yeah, French Canadian. But my father's Portuguese, so.
Yeah.
But I have no idea, dude. It's crazy. History is so cool. I can talk about history all fucking day.
Yeah, I'm excited and nervous to be in my history class. We'll see how that pans out. It seems like a lot of work, but
it's like a lot of work, but I think what I'm excited about for my history class, my Wabanaki studies, it's gonna be like, just listen. Like just check it out. Listen to like what we used to be like and like decide whether like you think that would work in today's society or like what did work, you know?
And I think it's big like preventative. Like how do we like make sure this doesn't happen again?
Right.
Like how do we not steamroll a whole society?
True. Yeah. Take any history class and they'll tell you that like no society lasts forever.
No.
It's crazy. But it does probably help. Like, you know, have you seen that map of Europe that all roads lead to Rome?
Mm-hmm.
It's like all roads lead to Rome.
There's a thing that says all roads lead to Ohio. And like Columbus, Ohio is, if you look at it, just a big roundabout. Like they're all like there's a road coming from every direction.
Yeah,
just look up all roads lead to Ohio.
I am in love with this show. Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's so funny, dude. He's hilarious. All roads lead to Rome.
Let me just look up a map then.
All roads lead to Cleveland. Oh, right here?
Yeah, but that's real dramatized. Let me just pull it.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Wow. Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, it's Columbus. Did I say Cleveland?
It's crazy though, the way that people kind of like just create towns and societies.
Yeah,
like all of our towns at one point were probably like 10 people.
Yeah, like look at that. It's just a giant roundabout. Like all these roads coming in, and it's just a circle.
It's pretty cool though. I wonder how big Columbus, Ohio is.
I don't know. I don't even know. I've been to Ohio. Sadly. No, just kidding. My friend goes to goes to school in Ohio.
The Midwest must suck. Probably shouldn't say that. No,
I don't think it sucks. I think it might be cool.
Yeah, true. You're a farm boy. You know that.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, it wasn't that bad.
It's flat.
True. That kind of sucks.
I'm not a big fan of flat.
You got cross-country skiing, but you just don't got trees, which would really bother me.
Yeah.
Because there's so much diversity in the forest.
I driving around the country, I have a very deep appreciation of our woods. Like
totally.
Like the redwoods are sick. Like the redwoods are awesome.
Totally.
But I like ours better.
Totally.
Because it also doesn't catch on fire, which is nice.
I know. And it's there's just so much, you know, everything's so unique to itself here in the forest of Maine.
It's pretty sick.
Pretty sick. All right, Joey, let's wrap this puppy up. I gotta go to work soon, and
we're getting The sun's going down.
Getting tired. Second podcast today.
I've
Fuck
got
yeah.
some history reading to do.
Oh yeah. Read about that. Wait, what type? Where was
Salem
it?
witch trials.
Oh,
in Salem,
fuck.
Massachusetts.
Well, we got to do another podcast next week to talk about that.
I gotta finish the book by next Thursday, so we can do it then, and I'll
Perfect.
really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it. There's so much I want to get into. Let's dig into it. All right, goodbye, people.
All right, peace.
Boom.